I caught my mother-in-law trying to replace my baby's formula with cow milk because she knows better. I've banned her from our house forever. I caught her with the bottle in her hand, standing over my baby, and what she said next made my blood run cold. I always knew my mother-in-law did not like me, but I never thought she would go this far. From the very beginning, she made it clear I was not good enough for her son. She would smile in front of others, but the moment we were alone, her tone would change. She would correct how I spoke, how I dressed, even how I laughed. It was never direct enough to confront, but always sharp enough to hurt. Before the wedding, things got worse. She tried to control every detail, from the guest list to the decorations. She even suggested my dress was too simple and offered to choose a better one for me. I remember standing there feeling small, but I kept quiet because I did not want to create drama. Then came the wine incident. It still feels like a slow motion scene in my head. I was standing in my white dress talking to friends when she walked up behind me, holding a glass of red wine. She smiled that same polite smile, and then suddenly her hand slipped. The wine spilled across my dress, deep red spreading like a stain. I could not hide. Gasps filled the room, and for a second everything went silent. She covered her mouth, pretending to be shocked, but I saw it in her eyes, that flicker of satisfaction. I stood there frozen, my heart pounding as people rushed to help me. My husband looked confused, and she kept apologizing over and over, too perfectly, too rehearsed. That was the moment I knew she would never accept me. After the wedding, I tried to keep my distance, but things only escalated when I got pregnant. She suddenly became overly involved, giving advice I never asked for, telling me she had done this before and knew better. When my baby was born, it got worse. She criticized everything: how I held the baby, how I fed the baby, how often I checked on the baby. I tried to stay calm for the sake of peace, but inside I was exhausted. Then one afternoon, everything changed. I walked into the kitchen and saw her standing there holding my baby's bottle, but something felt off. The formula container was closed and untouched. My heart dropped. I walked closer, slowly, and asked her what she was doing. She turned to me completely calm and said she was making the bottle. I looked at the sink and saw the milk carton. Cow milk. My baby was too young for that. I felt this wave of panic and anger rise inside me. I asked her why she was using cow milk, and she shrugged like it was nothing. She said she raised her children this way, and they turned out fine. She said formula was unnecessary, and that I worried too much. In that moment, something inside me snapped. I took the bottle from her hand and told her she would not make any decisions for my child. She tried to argue, saying I was being dramatic and disrespectful, but I did not back down. I told her clearly that she was no longer welcome in our home. Her face changed from calm to shocked to angry. She said I was overreacting and that I would regret treating her this way, but I stood my ground because this was not about her anymore. This was about my baby, and I would never let anyone put my child at risk, no matter who they were, even if it meant shutting the door on family forever.